Did you know that our cats give us warning signals that most cat parents, unfortunately, don't notice? But when your kitty is trying to tell you something, it's always a good idea to listen. From malicious people in your life to upcoming direct danger, your cat's senses are much more sensitive than yours, and this enables them to pick up on potential dangers way before you do. In this video, we're going to tell you 7 things that your cat might be trying to tell you, starting with this very surprising one. Number 1. Watch out for this person. They say that animals can tell when a person is bad news. You might have even experienced this yourself. Ever bring home a new partner who you thought was a dream come true, only to have your kitty react like they were more of a nightmare? Only to discover, further down the line, that your cat's instincts were completely correct. Cats aren't telepathic. They don't have any magic way of sensing a person's aura or energy. What they do have, however, is the ability to pick up on the subtleties of human body language. Cats are hyper-conscious of things that might be potential threats. If they notice that somebody's body language seems even slightly off, then they'll likely take a dislike to them. Not to mention, a certain kind of particularly awful person might be fine around other humans, but secretly mean to cats. Cats can't easily tell you if somebody mistreats them, and some people take this as an opportunity to do what they like, because they know that they can get away with it. The poor cat will, of course, take against this awful person, but won't be able to tell their human why. Obviously, cats do sometimes just take against people for no reason, the same way that humans will sometimes just randomly rub each other the wrong way. But if you get the sense that your kitty might be trying to warn you about somebody, then trust your gut. Cats know. Number 2. You're sick. It can be hard to understand how your cat could be able to smell illness, but that's because the human sense of smell is just not that great in comparison to a cat's. When you are ill, chemical changes happen in your body. You can't smell those chemicals, but your kitty can. Many cat parents report that their kitties become extra clingy when they're feeling unwell, like they're trying to make them feel better. Some cats have even got themselves jobs as medic alert cats, due to their ability to smell seizures before they're about to happen. One particularly heroic example of a kitty using their sense of smell to save their cat parent is the case of Rusty, a cat who, in 2011, saved his human's life. Claire Nelson was woken up in the middle of the night by Rusty batting at her face with his paws. Despite her protests, he refused to stop or to let her go back to sleep. Nelson then realized that she felt strange, and this combined with her cat's peculiar behavior worried her enough that she called for help. She was later informed that she had suffered a heart attack in her sleep. If she had kept on sleeping, she probably would never have woken up again. Number 3. There's a storm coming. If the weather forecast on TV keeps letting you down, then maybe it's time to find a new weather person. Perhaps a smaller, furrier one, with a tail. Cats can be surprisingly good at predicting the weather. When the weather starts to change, before any of the big, obvious stuff like storms or gales start, the things that even us big dumb humans will pick up on, there will be subtle changes in atmospheric pressure that your cat may pick up on. You might notice them getting agitated right before a storm, or heading inside moments before the rain starts. They may also be able to sense the electrical charge in the air before a lightning storm. Back before meteorology was an exact science, countless ship's cats owed their careers to this amazing skill. As well as catching mice, sailors believed that by observing the ship's cat, they could predict when bad weather was likely to strike. Number 4. Danger! Danger! Sometimes a cat may warn you about something a little more urgent than the weather. In 2015, a Welsh cat named Basil puzzled his human when he seemed to become strangely obsessed with the gas box. He would walk towards it, then walk back to his owner, then walk to the box again, and meow. Eventually, Basil's owner took the hint and checked out the box for himself. Once he was closer to it, he was able to smell the same leak that Basil had been able to smell from across the room. He called the company and got it fixed right away. If it had been left unchecked, he was told, it could have caused an explosion. But gas leaks aren't the only danger that cats are able to detect. In 2014, a study was conducted into the behavior of pets in Japan around the time of the 2011 tsunami that devastated the Iwate prefecture. Owners reported that cats and dogs had been unusually restless in the days leading up to the disaster, as if they had known that something was going to happen. Number 5. Someone needs help. We might have been joking at the beginning of the video about cats alerting their humans to little kids falling down the old well, but that doesn't mean that our feline friends won't sometimes try and pull a lassie. In 2015, commuters walking to work in Moscow were surprised to be confronted by an unusually persistent stray cat. The kitty kept approaching people and meowing loudly, but didn't seem to be after food or pets. In the end, somebody stopped to listen, and she led them down an alleyway. There they found, unbelievably, a newborn baby. The emergency services were called, and the baby was rushed off in an ambulance to receive urgent medical care. But not to be clear, before the ambulance had to make a quick stop to let the heroic cat on board. She had run after the ambulance as it sped away to make sure that her strange, hairless kitten was all right. Doctors later determined that the baby must have been abandoned the previous night and been found by the cat, who the rescuers named Masha. Masha had cuddled up with the infant all night, allowing them to survive the freezing Russian weather, and then had run to fetch help the very next morning. If Masha hadn't been there, and if she hadn't been so persistent about getting human attention, the baby would almost certainly have died. Number 6. Something wicked this way comes. For centuries, cats have been associated with the supernatural. The ancient Egyptians used to worship the cat goddess Bastet, who was revered for her ability to repel evil spirits. People in the Middle Ages, meanwhile, often believed that cats were evil spirits, or in league with them. The modern manifestation of this ancient belief is the idea that cats can see ghosts. If you've ever seen your kitty staring into space on a dark night, or jumping in fear at nothing at all, then you might have some suspicions about this yourself. We have no idea whether cats can see ghosts. It's not exactly something you can test. But we do have some reassuringly non-paranormal explanations for why your fur baby might be freaking you out. One explanation is that cats are adapted to pick up on changes in lighting that humans can't see. Fluorescent lights, for example, to a cat seem to be flickering constantly. Humans, on the other hand, can't always pick up on changes in the light, but we are much better at focusing on images in detail. We can also see more colors than cats, but we can't see ultraviolet light, while cats can. As a result, when your cat seems to be staring at nothing, it's possible that they actually are seeing something that you can't see. It's just that rather than a spooky specter, they're more likely to be mesmerized by flickery lights or strange colors that are outside the normal range of human vision. Number 7. You're expecting. Sickness isn't the only thing that can cause chemical changes in your body. Many cat parents who become pregnant report that their kitties become extra cuddly as a result. Sometimes, a cat might even predict a pregnancy before the mum-to-be even thinks to take a test. As well as their extra sensitive sense or smell, there's another ability that cats have which makes them extra fascinated with pregnant humans. The ability to sense out warm places to sleep with all the accuracy and determination of a heat-seeking missile. Pregnant bellies are warmer than the rest of the body, and so, if there's a baby on the way, you might find that your kitty becomes extra obsessed with your tummy for a while. Cats have long been associated with the ability to sense unseen forces, from evil spirits to bad presences. And while your kitty might not be hunting ghosts around your home, you've probably noticed their almost supernatural talent for detecting when a seemingly ordinary person is actually bad news. Many cat parents have experienced it. Someone who appears lovely at first, but gets an immediate cold shoulder from their cat, only for that person's true colors to show later on. Sure, sometimes cats just take a random dislike to people for their own mysterious reasons, but there are times when their reaction is their way of protecting you from harm. So, what's behind this feline sixth sense? Are the old stories true? Are our cats just magic after all? Not quite. There are actually scientific reasons why your cat can sense a person's true intentions. In this video, we'll reveal 6 powerful ways your cat can detect whether the people around you are good or bad. From sensing hidden emotions to reading subtle body language, your cat has your back when others don't. Number 1. The sixth sense. Mind reading, as depicted in fantasy and sci-fi films, might be a myth, but there are other ways to detect what a person is thinking. Scientists can study the human brain using MRI machines, which will let them know which parts of it light up under a scan, and thus give some indication as to what the person is thinking. But our kitties have a much simpler method. When you have an emotional response, your body releases chemicals called hormones. Small amounts of these hormones then leach out in your sweat. Don't worry, they're not detectable to humans, but they are detectable to your cat. This means that when you're having a chat with your best frenemy and you tell them about your oncoming breakup and they seem sympathetic, your fur baby can smell that they're secretly pleased. Nobody will be stabbing you in the back when your kitty is on the case. Number 2. Bringing it back to the body. You might have noticed that your kitty has a tendency to respond to what you're thinking and feeling before you've even processed it yourself. You start feeling a bit sad, and your fur baby is already on your lap, trying to make you feel better. You get the first inkling of an urge to get out the cat treats, and your kitty is already standing by the cupboard, yowling for you to get on with it. That's because, just like how a human naturalist might learn all sorts of things about the communication methods of the animals that they choose to observe, your fur baby is an expert on the body language and communication of the human species. You might call them a regular David Cat Attenborough. A 2012 study that looked at how cats respond to body language showed that they change their behavior in response to the body language of the humans around them. A human who means you ill might be trying to hide their body language from you, but they won't necessarily think to do the same around your kitty. Your cat will know if somebody is up to no good and will try their best to ensure that you don't get taken advantage of, even if all they can do is try and warn you with their own body language by making their dislike of the person known. Number 3. Face value. Body language isn't the only thing your kitty might pick up on. Your fur baby can also recognize facial expressions. A 2016 study showed cats photographs of human faces with different expressions and recorded their reactions. The cats showed noticeably different reactions depending on the facial expression being shown in the photos. You might miss snide expressions or faces pulled behind your back, but they can't hide from your cat. Your kitty will notice that the person's expression is negative and that it is directed towards you, and they'll respond accordingly. This actually makes some sense, as cats do have a few facial expressions of their own. But while they only have 276 distinct expressions, which already sounds like a lot, we know, we humans have a whopping 10,000 at our disposal, and yet somehow your clever Clogs cat will remember them all and respond accordingly. Number 4. What they don't say. As well as how humans look, our kitties also pay attention to how we sound. Studies show that cats can pick up on the voices of specific people, especially their owners, and can distinguish between different tones of voice and the emotions that they indicate. Interestingly, they're especially responsive to baby talk, but they can also pick up on negative tones. Ever have somebody say something to you that sounds completely innocuous, but their tone of voice lets you know that they don't entirely mean what they're saying? You might doubt that you heard right, but your cat won't. They know when somebody isn't talking to their human in a nice way and will respond accordingly. As far as your cat's concerned, if somebody doesn't have anything nice to say to you, then they shouldn't say anything at all. Number 5. Moggy memory. They say that an elephant never forgets, but they're not the only ones. Your kitty has a pretty good memory as well, especially for people who they don't like. Cats have a very good associative memory, meaning that they can easily attach specific emotions to specific memories. Incidentally, this is why your fur baby tends to freak out whenever they see you bringing out their cat carrier. They remember that the sight of the cat carrier means a trip to the vet, and they react accordingly. So if your cat seems to be acting strangely around a person, and especially if they seem uncharacteristically aggressive or fearful around them compared to how they are around other people, then that can be a sign that they may have a reason to be upset with that person. People who have ill intentions will often hide their true nature around other humans, but will then let loose around cats, who they may wrongfully believe to be incapable of telling anyone. They might secretly speak sharply to your cat, or even hurt them when you're not in the room, and your fur baby's only way to let you know that something is amiss is to do what they can to scare the awful person away. Number 6. Breaking boundaries. Sometimes a person might not intend to hurt a cat, just as they might not intend to hurt you, but their inability to understand what kind of behavior is appropriate can cause them to hurt people anyway. These people often don't like cats. Cats are very clear about what kind of behavior they'll accept from other people and can on occasion make their feelings known very clearly, with teeth and claws if necessary. Unlike dogs, who are much more willing to put up with people who disregard their boundaries, cats have a very independent spirit. People who dislike cats, and especially people who complain about being scratched or bitten whenever they interact with them, often have difficulty respecting boundaries, both with humans and with animals. Your cat might show their dislike to this person for a completely valid reason, and recognizing that they are standing up for their rights might prompt you to consider what you're putting up with in your own friendship with this person, and whether your own boundaries are being respected. In some ways, if we all lived our lives like cats do, then we'd all be happier. Cats are confident and open with their feelings. If they don't like somebody, then they make it clear, and if they do like somebody, then they make it equally clear. Of course, the person most likely to get your fur baby's attention is you, and there are all sorts of ways that they can show you that they care. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's you. Just because you don't go around in a cape and tights doesn't mean that you're not a superhero in your cat's eyes. In this video, we're going to look at 13 signs that your cat sees you as someone they can rely on to protect them from harm. If you fall into this role for your cat, it means that the two of you share a very strong bond. But before we dive in, why not subscribe and join our feline-loving community for more tips and tricks on how to care for your kitty? Sign number 1. Do you have an extra shadow, or is that just your kitty? If your cat views you as someone who can protect them from danger, then they are likely to stick as close to you as possible. You'll likely especially notice this behavior if something unusually scary happened that day, like you had a visitor, or it was the day you do the vacuuming. Your cat is following you because you make them feel safe. Sign number 2. Your cat is never more vulnerable than when they're asleep. Your sleeping fur baby may look like a little angel to you, but to any one of the natural predators that they would have in the wild, the sight would look more delicious than darling. In the wild, cats tend to seek out small, enclosed places to sleep, like hollows or bushes, where they're hidden from view. The only reason your kitty feels safe sleeping out in the open is because they know that you are there to look out for them. Sign number 3. When you enter a room, does your cat roll over to show you their tummy? Many cat parents interpret this as a request for a tummy rub, but in most cases, nothing could be further from the truth. When you reach out to touch that tum, your fur baby strikes with ferocious force. What happened? Were they briefly possessed by your great supervillain rival, Dog Tor Growl? No. A cat showing their tummy is actually a huge sign of trust. They're exposing the most delicate area of their body to you and trusting you not to take advantage. Unfortunately, though, a side effect of that area being so delicate is that it can be highly uncomfortable, and in some cases, physically painful, for a cat to be touched there. Sign number 4. So what does it mean when your cat does let you pet their tummy? Is cat tummy touching one of your many superpowers? Probably not. Some cats will tolerate having their bellies touched and possibly even enjoy the experience. If this happens, however, it will only happen if the cat and human have an intensely strong bond of trust between them. If your cat trusts you to do this, they'll probably trust you to do anything. Sign number 5. You walk in through the door and immediately hear the pitter-patter of running feet. Did somebody switch on the cat signal? No, your cat is just happy to see you home. If your cat sees you as their protector, then they likely associate your coming home with a greater feeling of safety, and therefore, a greater ability to do stuff like play or sleep out in the open without having to worry about getting attacked by predators, like that dastardly lawnmower monster that lives next door. Sign number 6. Have you ever met your cat's eyes from across the room and seen them slowly blink at you? Like there's some kind of understanding passing between the two of you, even if you don't quite know how or why. That's a cat kiss, and it's your cat's way of expressing their intense love and affection for you. You can share the love by blinking back. Sign number 7. Sometimes love hurts, and kneading or making biscuits is a good example of that. The rhythmic treading motions that your cat makes when they do this might look like they're pretending to knead dough. But you don't know any bakers who insist on stabbing their dough with needles. Ow! Although kneading can be uncomfy, you should still consider it a sign of love. Baby cats knead their mama cats as kittens to encourage milk flow. Obviously, your cat isn't trying to encourage your milk flow, but it's their way of saying that they consider you to be their mom and trust you to love and protect them like she did. Sign number 8. Your cat can't really nail their flag to your mast, primarily because they don't have a flag or any nails, and you probably don't have a mast. But they can still let the world, or at least the feline side of it, know that they consider the two of you to be allies by marking you with their scent. Your cat will do this by rubbing their face against your clothes or skin, causing pheromones to be released by special glands in their cheeks. To another cat, the smell of these pheromones indicates that the two of you are partners in your fight against the world. Sign number 9. You probably won't be putting any dead mice or birds on your Amazon wishlist anytime soon, but that's the kind of gift you'll probably be getting if you have an outdoor cat, especially if you go away a lot. Cats will often start bringing home more dead animals after their cat parents go away for business trips or vacations. This is because, in their minds, the only reason you would ever go away is because you needed to go further afield to hunt for food. To avoid losing their best friend and protector, therefore, your cat starts helping you hunt for food. If your kitty is an indoor cat, then they probably won't have access to actual prey, but they might try bringing you their toys as a substitute. Sign number 10. Cats don't have the same hang-ups about public bathing that a lot of humans have, but that doesn't mean that they're totally comfortable with it. Cats groom by licking themselves, an activity that often involves contorting themselves into odd shapes and focusing all their attention on getting themselves clean. If a cat were attacked during a grooming session, then their chances of escaping would be significantly diminished. Your cat grooming in front of you, therefore, is another way of them letting you know that they know that you've got their back. Sign number 11. Meow! 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 Cats aren't usually quiet about it when they want something, whether it be an open door, a seat on your lap, or a bit of food off your plate. But if you think about it, given what we've said about the risk of predators, it might seem odd that cats evolved to make such a loud and piercing noise. But in truth, cats in the wild don't make that noise. Kittens meow to their mama cats to get attention, but adult cats hardly ever do. The fact that your kitty feels okay being loud is proof that they consider you a protector. Although you might find yourself wishing they were less confident about your ability to protect them sometimes, like at 3 a.m. on a work night. Sign number 12. You being a superhero won't keep your kitty from dabbling in crime. Your cat may be a literal cat burglar, stealing small items from around the house, like stray socks or lost pens, and squirreling them away in various hiding places. Else, you may have a trespasser on your hands who insists on sitting in your bed, or on your favorite part of the couch, or even on top of your laptop keyboard. It might be annoying, but there is a motive behind these feline felonies. Objects that you handle frequently, and parts of the house where you regularly sit or lie down, will carry traces of your scent. Because you're their protector, your cat associates your scent with safety, so if they're feeling anxious, they may decide to seek out that scent to make themselves feel better. Sign number 13. Ironically, the most dangerous creature your cat encounters on a daily basis is probably you. Even though you would never hurt your kitty, you're big and strong enough to do a lot of damage if you so chose. And yet, your kitty not only feels safe hanging around you, but even feels safe enough to let you hold them in your arms. When you're holding your cat, they are trusting you entirely with their safety. They are trusting that you won't drop them, that you won't squeeze them too tight, and that if something should attack while they're stuck in your arms and unable to run away, you will see it off. We've all heard stories about heroic dogs going above and beyond to protect their owners. Many people will even get a dog specifically to guard their home and protect their families. Cats are nice, but when it comes to personal safety, you can't do better than man's best friend, right? Not so fast. Cats may not be as big or as strong as dogs, but that doesn't mean they can't do their best to look out for their people. In fact, many pet owners today owe their lives to their kitties. In this video, we're going to look at some ways that our cats try to protect us, along with the stories of some super kitties who saved their lucky owners from perilous situations. But before we dive in, why not subscribe to our channel and join our feline-loving community to learn more about your cat and how to care for them? Number 1. Sleeping near you. Recognize this situation? You're trying to get a good night's sleep, but your cat isn't making it easy. Maybe they're sitting on top of you and making you feel squashed. Maybe they're lying like a rock in the bed so you can't stretch your legs out. Maybe they're even lying on your pillow, so your attempts at practicing sleepy breathing now involve inhaling fishy cat breath. You might feel driven to push them off the bed and lock them out of the bedroom, but don't be too quick to kick them out. Letting your cat sleep in your bed might just save your life. In 2022, a British cat named Billy saved his owner's life after he woke her up in the middle of the night by yowling in her ear and pounding with his paws on her chest. Upon waking, his owner noticed a pain in her chest and realized she couldn't move her body. She called a relative for help and was taken to the hospital, where doctors told her she had suffered a heart attack in her sleep. The grateful cat mom said that Billy had never woken her up before that night, and that she credited him with saving her life. Cats can also protect against more external dangers. Be warned. This next story doesn't have the happiest ending. In 2023, a family in Ohio were saved from a fire that broke out in their basement after their cat Nina woke them up. The mom of the family was woken first and thought that the courageous kitty just wanted to play. When she got up, however, she noticed the smoke and alerted the rest of the family. As the couple and their 4 children rushed to safety, Nina led them out into the backyard. Tragically, although her family escaped, Nina went missing shortly afterwards. The family speculated that she might have missed seeing the eldest son leave the house and thought he was still inside. Her body was found in his bedroom, where she had gone to find him. A truly heroic kitty. Number 2. Watching over your kids. Does your cat obsess over your baby? While some cats don't seem too interested in their new family members, and may even be put off by grabby little hands or the smell of dirty diapers, others love hanging out with kids, especially ones that drop food on the floor. It can be a bad idea to leave very young kids and kitties alone together unsupervised for the fur baby and actual baby both. Small babies have sensitive skin that can be irritated by a cat's rough tongue. A cat lying on top of a baby can even disrupt their breathing. A playful toddler who wants to play with the kitty, meanwhile, may end up accidentally hurting them if they pull their tail or squeeze them too tight. But cats can also be very protective of these strange, hairless kittens. In the wild, Feral cats will babysit each other's kittens so the mamas can go off and hunt or get some me time. Some house cats will take responsibility for kids in their human families in the same way. In 2014, a California kitty named Tara won the Cat Fanciers Association's first ever Cat Hero Award after she saved the life of her human family's 4-year-old son. The little boy was playing on his bike in the front yard when he was attacked by the neighbor's dog. In footage from the family's security cameras, which later went viral online, the dog can be seen grabbing hold of the child's leg in its mouth, pulling him and his bike over and then shaking him. The boy's mother, who had been watching the incident with horror, ran to intervene. But before she could get there, Tara had zoomed out of the house and slammed her whole body into the dog, forcing him to release the child. In the footage, Tara can then be seen glancing back at her fallen friend, who by this point was being tended to by his mom, and then chasing after the dog. Only when the intruder had been hounded out of her territory did Tara feel able to go back to her young owner. In a less dramatic, but just as heroic case, a Colombian cat in 2019 saved a toddler from potentially serious injury. The 1-year-old escaped from his crib and began crawling towards a steep staircase, but the family cat, Guatubela, was on the case. She jumped on the boy and blocked his way until he crawled back to the safety of the center of the room. Number 3. Acting strange. Cats are little weirdos. Every cat parent knows that. Most of the time, it's impossible to tell why they do the things they do. But if your kitty starts acting extra weird, seems distressed, and acts like they're either avoiding or, alternatively, trying to draw your attention to a specific object or place in your home, it might be time to start taking them seriously. Cats, like most animals, have super sharp senses compared to humans. These enable them to frequently pick up on things that we might miss. In 2021, Lily the cat was playing with her human friend when she became distracted by a heating valve. She'd sniffed it before, and her family had assumed she was just attracted to the shiny metal, but this time she seemed so intent that her cat mom became suspicious. She sniffed it herself and was able to just about detect the killer scent that Lily had been able to pick up from all the way across the room, a gas leak. The family called a technician, who informed them that the leak was very dangerous and cut the pipeline to their house until it was fixed. If Lily hadn't alerted them to the problem, the leak could have caused her family to become sick or even lead to an explosion. Sometimes a cat's super senses can manifest themselves in ways that are more mysterious and even inexplicable. In 2015, a British grandmother was surprised when her 24-year-old cat Tom, who was normally pretty aloof and rarely initiated cuddles, suddenly developed an irritating habit of tapping his paw against a certain spot on her neck. Worried that the change in behavior could indicate some kind of health problem, she took the cat to the vet, who gave him a clean bill of health, but suggested that the tapping may be her feline friend's way of trying to tell her something was wrong. The lady took the vet's advice and went to the human doctor. There she was told that the small lump on her neck that she'd put down to glandular problems was actually a cancerous mass. Fortunately, doctors were able to remove the mass and the patient made a full recovery, thanks largely to her loyal kitty. If you live in an area that is prone to natural disasters, such as earthquakes or tornadoes, and your cat starts acting particularly strangely, it may be worth checking the weather reports. Many cats will act anxious or stressed when bad storms are on the way. The old practice of keeping a cat aboard ships started in part because of this habit. In the days before advanced modern weather forecasting techniques, keeping an eye on the ship's cat was one way sailors could be alerted of bad storms ahead. There is anecdotal evidence to suggest that this ability may extend to earthquakes, hurricanes, and even tsunamis as well. Not much research has been done into this sixth senses that cats seem to possess, but the theory is that they can detect subtle changes in air pressure and electromagnetic fields that give them an advance warning of trouble approaching. Did you know cats can be protective of those they consider family? Not every cat shows this side, but if yours does, you're part of an exclusive club of cat parents. Ready to find out if your cat has a secret bodyguard streak? Let's dive in! Number 1. King of the Cling. Most cats aren't very sociable, but keeping to themselves doesn't mean they don't know when their attention is needed. If your aloof kitty suddenly starts following you everywhere, they might be trying to keep you safe. Okay, they might also just be trying to figure out why you're moving around so much. Could you keep it down? They're trying to nap, or maybe they're curious about that cupboard you're decluttering. But sometimes, your cat becomes clingy because something's unnerved them, which might be stress from your sudden bout of spring cleaning, or it could be a strange noise they heard outside. If your cat is worried about something, they'll stick close to you. This could be following you from room to room or sitting on or near you whenever you curl up on the couch. While some cats stay near because they know you'll keep them safe, others want to protect you because you are their family. They might even stick closer to you than usual if they know you're feeling anxious. A study in 2015 found that cats recognize different human emotions. They can even tell how you're feeling based on your facial expression. They even react accordingly. In the study, happy owners were met with trills, purring, and other friendly behavior, and anger was met with wariness. If they know you're sad, they might try and make you happy by cuddling with you. Number 2. Kitty cat and the door of doom. Their habit of sticking close to you doesn't just end with them following you around the house. Cats who channel their protectiveness into impersonating Velcro will feel most put out if you close a door. You might have been hoping for a little privacy while you do your bathroom routine, but your cat is offended. If you do shut the door on your protective cat, be prepared for them to express their disgust. They might scratch at the door or meow loudly until you let them in. How are they supposed to protect you if they can't get into the room with you? What if they need to battle the toilet paper or make sure the faucets are working properly? Number 3. The lion sleeps tonight. Once you're finished in the bathroom, your protective cat might follow you to bed too, or beat you there. They know how long your routine takes. As much as they might like their cat bed, they prefer your pillow whenever they want to protect you. Sleeping with you might make you a little uncomfortable. Cats can be heavy and they tend to hog the blankets. But they have your best interests at heart. If you're determined to sleep for ridiculously long hours every night, they will watch over you. To keep you safe, and make sure you wake up in time for breakfast, of course. They might as well be comfortable as they protect you. So they'll cuddle up against the small of your back, curl up in the crook of your neck, or just pin your feet to the mattress. There is no escape from their protective paws. Number 4. A growl today keeps the baddies at bay. Of all the vocalizations your cat can make, there are 2 that show your cat is feeling protective of you and themselves. Hissing or growling both show that your cat isn't impressed and likely feeling threatened. Some cats might use a drawn-out, slow meow or a shriek-like yowl instead of growling. Vocalizing like this isn't aggressive, but it is still a warning. Your cat is telling the threat to back off and hoping to scare it away without needing to fight. If the danger gets too close, your cat will either run or try to defend themselves. But be careful even if they are protecting you. Hissing or growling might be a sign of aggression too, especially if it's directed at someone you know isn't a threat. Number 5. I've got you covered. Protection from your cat isn't just the showy kind. Your cat's protective instincts might be less obvious than hissing at whatever has made them anxious. Sometimes, protecting you is as subtle as marking you with their scent. Cats have scent glands on their chin, cheeks, forehead, and their paws. They mark you with their scent by rubbing their face against your legs or hands and kneading you whenever they sit on your lap. You might not be able to smell it yourself. Our noses aren't nearly as good as a cat's, but it's there. Other felines can tell too. They know you belong to a cat already, and that strange cat's scent tells them to back off. Your cat will mark you to protect you as a precious resource and claim you as their own. After all, you feed them and give them a safe place to call home. Without you, they'd have to fend for themselves and they'd rather not. Number 6. A purr in shining armor. It might be far less aggressive than the hissing or growling you'd expect from a protective feline, but purring can be protective too. Cats mostly purr when they're content. It means they're happy. safe, and comfortable. They're probably lying on your lap or at your side when they purr. It's a habit they learn in kittenhood. They'll purr to communicate with their mother and littermates when they're young. But it's not something adult cats do when communicating with other felines. Instead, purring is reserved for self-soothing, showing contentment, or telling you they're happy. Purring can also be used to show anxiety. Some cats use the vibrations to soothe their nerves if they're upset. We've already touched on how they sense and respond to your emotions too. If you're feeling scared, they might settle on you and purr to soothe you. Although it might be one of the less obvious ways of protecting you, they're still showing they care. After all, protecting your peace of mind is still important to them. Number 7. Sir Purr a lot and the secret of floof. Seeing your cat's fur puff up until they look twice their size always looks a little amusing, especially if you're a new cat parent seeing the action for the first time. Some cats only puff up their tails, but others go extra floofy everywhere. But your cat isn't trying to be funny or even do something weird. It's a reflexive response that's prompted by strong emotions like anger or fear. If something startles your cat, they might puff up their tail in response. It makes them look much bigger than they are, and will hopefully scare off a foe without coming to blows. Your cat might fluff up their fur when they're protecting you too. If the threat gets too close, your cat might even arch their back to make themselves look even bigger. Be careful you don't get too close if you try to soothe your cat. They might be about to launch into action, but not realize you're the one touching them. They might lash out at you by accident simply because they're ready to fight for you. Number 8. I'm watching you. A cat's eyes say a lot about their state of mind, like the big dilated pupils your cat has whenever you grab their favorite jingle ball. But did you know those big eyes can also be a sign your cat is being protective? Especially if your cat makes direct eye contact with whatever they deem as a threat. When their eyes are fully dilated, your cat is feeling defensively aggressive. They're not ready to attack, but they're still wary about the threat they've seen. Maintaining eye contact also allows them to track the danger so they can switch to fight mode or flight. They are in the zone. Be careful if your defensive kitty has very thin pupils. When their eyes constrict, they're ready to go full-on Rambo. They will maintain eye contact and have an arched back and puffed up fur. All of these combined can be a sign your aggressor's in deep trouble. While your kitty might be trying to protect you, these signs could mean they've taken their guarding behavior to the extreme. When it's time to get worried, you know your cat loves you, but sometimes it's nice to have it confirmed. Your cat's protectiveness is a good indicator that they think the world of you. But while it might be an honor to receive this form of attention, it's not always a good thing. Sometimes, cats can get a little too protective. In this case, their adorable attempts at protecting you can get a little scary. They might even get dangerous. If you've ever gotten too close to those claws while playing with your cat, you'll know how sharp they are. Now imagine if your cat is trying to hurt someone. The problem is, if your cat gets overprotective, they could become aggressive. They might start reacting defensively to people or other animals that aren't threats, like your best friend or another pet if they get too close to you. This can lead to your friends, you, or even your cat getting seriously injured. Their attempt to protect you can cause them unnecessary stress too. If they never feel comfortable enough to relax, they might even start lashing out at you. You ever get the sense that your cat is checking up on you? You've been sitting here at your desk, minding your own business, catching up on your favorite educational cat videos. For hours and 5 times already, your kitty has come in to see what you're doing. Why? They don't stay long enough to play or get petted, and when you tried following them out of the room, they didn't seem to be leading you anywhere. It's not dinner time, the water dish is full, and the litter box is clean. What do they want from you? What more can one cat parent do? Well, your kitty doesn't just see you as a cat parent. Their relationship with you is complex and multifaceted, and as a result, they see you in a variety of different ways. In this video, we're going to look at the roles you play in your kitty's life and why they may feel compelled to check up on you. Territory. Cats are incredibly territorial creatures. You heard the saying, "A man's house is his castle"? Well, your kitty sees themselves as less of a king and more of a god emperor. Nothing gets in or out of your home without their knowing about it, and they take the responsibility very seriously. As a person who lives in your home, you are also part of your cat's territory. You may have even noticed them claiming you as such. This is usually done by rubbing their head against your body. This releases a scent from special glands on your kitty's cheeks, allowing them to mark you as a part of their territory and to signal to invading other cats that you are their human and nobody else's. But what if invading other cats don't respect the kitty code? What if they try to steal you away while your cat is distracted? Your furry friend is checking in on you to make sure that nobody comes to try and take you from them. Protector. You remember when you were a little kid and you used to lie awake at night listening to the tree branches tap against your window and imagining there were monsters hiding under your bed or waiting in your closet? Do you remember how comforting it was at those moments to hear your parents talking in the other room or to catch sight of them watching TV on your way to the bathroom? To your cat, you now play the same role as your parents did when you were a kid, keeping them safe from the monsters. You might not think that there's much to fear from monsters inside your home, but then your parents probably would have said the same thing when you were a kid. To a prey animal like a cat, a lot of things can seem scary. Thunderstorms, car alarms, dogs walking by the house, the kids playing loudly in the neighbor's yard. Checking in on you helps give your kitty reassurance, letting them know that you're still there, and you're available to fight off any monsters who might attack them. Entertainer. Humans have historically kept cats mainly as working animals to catch the mice that would come into our homes and steal our food. But since we invented extermination services and started keeping our food in sealed-off fridges instead of mouse-infested pantries, that function has become less important. Instead, most modern cat parents prefer to keep our pets as companion animals, to keep us company and to entertain us. But did you ever think that you play basically the same role for your kitty? Maybe you're not doing anything interesting at the moment, but a bored cat might come in and out of your room multiple times during the day just in case you suddenly decide that work is boring, and you'd much prefer to be dangling a bit of string or randomly handing out cat food. No luck yet? Your kitty will be back. Cats are very hopeful. Manager. Although cats are generally seen as solitary animals, they do in fact have a kind of social structure, albeit not as rigid as dogs. Feral cats, who don't have people to look after them, will often form colonies centered around a common food source or shelter. These cats will show dominance over each other through grooming. If one cat grooms another on the top of the head, that means that that cat is inferior to them on the social hierarchy. But wait! You may be thinking, I always pet my cat on the top of their head. Of course you do. Cats have adorable little faces that practically beg to be petted. But from your fur baby's perspective, by doing that, you've basically taken up the position of head of household, no matter how much it might feel like the other way around when you're running around cleaning litter boxes and serving up cat food. They keep checking in on you for the same reason that you might keep in regular contact with your boss at work. They're checking that you don't need them to do anything. Alien. Imagine if, instead of leaving home and going to college or getting a job when you reached adulthood, you were abducted by aliens and taken to a strange place with strange rules. You're fed, played with, and provided with shelter. But you also have to put up with the aliens randomly picking you up and squeezing you every now and again, or taking videos of you comically falling off furniture and posting them online. This is basically what happened to your cat when you adopted them, and just like a human would be in that situation, cats can get very curious about the strange ways of their abductors. Why do we spend all day staring at that strange, blinking light box? Why do we always drink that strong-smelling brown liquid in the mornings? What strange magic gives us the ability to use a can opener? Your cat may not have the answers to these questions yet, but they may hope to learn more by observing you. Kid. One of the more alien things that humans do to puzzle our kitties is sleeping. You might think that's weird. Cats sleep all the time, right? That's almost true. Cats can sleep up to 16 hours a day, twice the recommended human amount of 8 hours. And how many of us manage to meet that target? But they don't do it in one big block. Most humans have either a monophasic or biphasic sleep pattern, meaning that we either get all our sleep in one night, or we get most of our sleep at night and then have a nap later in the day. By comparison, cats are polyphasic, meaning that they sleep in fits and starts. To them, sleeping in one block is really weird. Parents who are watching might be familiar with the experience of checking on their kids at night to make sure that they're okay. Well, if your kitty keeps coming into your room at night, it's for the same reason. You're engaging in your weird nightly sleep ritual, and even if they don't understand, they still want to make sure you're okay. Fool! You love your kitty. You want them to want to stay in the room with you, so maybe when they're doing one of their regular check-ins, you get a bit excited. Stop what you're doing, say hi, maybe give them some pets, or even offer a treat if they stay long enough. You may not realize that in doing this, you could be falling right into your fur baby's trap. Many cats have discovered the trueness of the phrase, treat them mean to keep them keen. And if you keep giving them treats and affection whenever they pop in and out of your room, then they'll keep doing it. You're essentially rewarding the behavior. This isn't to say you should stop doing it, however. What cat parent doesn't feel the need to reward their kitty sometimes? Best friend. The simplest reason why your cat keeps coming in and out of your room is the same reason why you get so excited when you see their cute little fuzzy face. You love each other. Your kitty views you as an important part of their social group, and therefore wants to see you. Just like you make an effort to see them when you're not so busy, their so-called checking in on you habit could just be them wanting to say, "Hi, how was your day?" in the only way they can. For another look at your kitty's inner thoughts and feelings, why not check out this video to learn how to recognize whether you're making your cat happy?